Hi, Realmeltan here, back again with another computer build. So sorry for the messy countertop today. So Gordon's kind of busy, so he's kind of pressured to send this guy. We've got a client who wants this upgrade tomorrow. Let's carry on with the build. So Gordon, what's this build about?
Customer is a jeweler, somebody who works in the jewelry crafting business. A brief overview on this set. You've got a GTX 950 over here, 8 gigs of RAM, i5-6500, as well as a 250 gig SSD and a 1 TB hard disk drive, and a 600 watt power supply. The set is no longer really keeping up with the customer's requirements and demands, so he's brought it in to us to upgrade it a lot faster than what's currently in here, since it's getting late and this guy wants it back tomorrow morning. So let's get to work.
So Gordon, can you introduce to us what upgrades you have in store for this guy?
We will start this side over here. This is the Galaxy RTX 2070 Super. 8 gigs of VRAM. It's gonna be quite an upgrade over the GTX 950.
Yeah, it's a 2 gig RAM card. Can you imagine?
Yeah, 2 gig versus 8 gigs of VRAM. VRAM is very important for people who do CAD/CAM and like what this guy is doing. It's going to be quite a jump. Moving right along, we have the Seasonic Focus Plus Gold 750 watt power supply. Main reason being that 600 watt power supply ain't gonna cut it for powering this guy and what's sitting over here, which I'll get to in a bit.
Who gives him space to upgrade to a better card in the future?
Yeah, he can go all the way up to an RTX 2080 Ti in the future. Fast but not least, we have the motherboard, CPU and the RAM. What I have sitting right over here is AMD Ryzen 5 3600, 6 core 12 threads. Quite a massive upgrade over the 6th gen i5 sitting inside there. 6 core 12 threads versus 4 core 4 threads. For CPU intensive stuff, the difference is going to be night and day.
How many months ago? How many years ago?
3 years old. Can't keep up with what he wants to do. On to this fella. What it's sitting on is the MSI B450 Tomahawk Max. Yes, there's the X570 line of motherboards from AMD, but for the purpose of what this guy wants to do, he's also on a budget. The B450 Tomahawk Max from MSI is a pretty good solid board. And from 8 gigs of RAM sitting inside there, he's going on to 32 gigs of G-Skill Sniper at 3200 MHz CL16 RAM. Some of you may be wondering, why not we take the 8 gig from there and we put it here as well? Let's give this guy 40 gigs of RAM. There's a very good reason why we're not doing that. Number one, this is 3200 MHz RAM. That is 2400 MHz. 2400 MHz was considered pretty fast back in that era. That's a very funny thing to say era. It's like 3 years ago.
Like 3 batches ago.
Today, 2400 MHz is called
dreadfully slow.
if we were to put them together, I would have to underclock this fellow from 3200 to 2400 MHz. Not a good thing to do. You'll end up having very slow RAM bottlenecking this brand new Ryzen 5 here. So without further ado, we will get right on to the upgrade because it's getting late.
Gordon, what time is the customer expecting this PC?
Oh man, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Oh, yep, it's gonna be one of those long nights.
Gordon can do it in 1 hour, so let's see how he does it.
Not too bad. This set has sat in an aircon office for the last 3 years of its life. You should have seen one guy, his bloody computer when he came in here. It was so dusty, we had to wear N95 mask. What we did was we took the vacuum cleaner, we set it to blow, and then we pointed it at his set. And the clump of dust was so huge, we thought for a moment that we were in the Sahara Desert. So that's what the front I/O of this particular case looks like. 2 USB 2, 1 USB 3, and you've got the microphone and the speakers right over here. And these are the cables that go right from this front panel to the motherboard. For the purpose of our viewers down here, this one, HD audio, this is what allows these two to work, your microphone and your headphones. This is for USB 2, this one is the USB 3, this is what enables this guy to work. So I got another clump of cables over here. This is the header for the front fan. That's for the power switch. The other one right over here is the reset switch, which will enable the reset switch here to work. Both of these go to the motherboard. This is for the hard disk activity light. We've got the power LED, which is somewhere over here. If I'm wrong, we'll probably put it together and then we'll see it. Now that she's more or less cleaned up, let's get all the new stuff right into her. This is the I/O shield. You're wondering, what does this do? This is the motherboard, so you can see, like the name suggests, it's an I/O shield. Covers up that little hole you see right over there. Well, very important, this has to go in first. Because if you don't put this in first, and then you put motherboard, your graphic card, everything, and then you forget this thing, everything has to come out again. So, take note. Right, now contrary to a video by a channel that starts with the letter V, I shall not elaborate any further. You don't need a Swiss Army knife or a complicated Swiss Army screwdriver. All you need is something like this, $2-3. The one I have right over here is a pretty simple one, so you've got the Phillips head here, and you've got a flat head here. So a good thing to always do when you're assembling your PC is have it magnetized. There are a couple of ways you can do this, but the one that I always do is, yes, this is a magnet. Yeah, this is a part of a hard drive. Yeah, it's from a hard drive. Yeah.
Welcome back to primary school science.
Yeah, so this is how you magnetize a screwdriver. Don't do it too much. You don't really want a very strong magnetic field on your screwdrivers. Just enough for you all to do this. So at least when you're trying to screw down your motherboard or your other components, your screw doesn't drop off.
What about the anti-static wrist strap?
Well, that depends on where you're assembling your thing. If you're really working in an environment with a lot of cloth, carpet, that kind of thing, then yeah, maybe a anti-static wrist strap is probably a good investment. But generally, just be sensible, just touch something metal every now and then to clear the charge and you should be fine. For the SSD, we're gonna plug to, see the one? As for his mechanical hard drive, same thing goes, we're gonna plug to SATA port number 2. Okay, so that takes care of the 2 drives. Now we have these cables to worry about. This is for the front fan. I'm just gonna connect it right over here. This is the header for the USB 3. It's gonna go right over here. There are 2 USB 2 ports, 2 USB 2 headers down here. One has already been connected because this USB 2 header comes from here to the Rave Prism cooler. Because the Rave Prism cooler uses the USB 2 header to control the colors. So this motherboard has 2 USB 2 headers. One is occupied by the Rave Prism. The other one will be used by the 2 USB 2 ports. This one goes all the way to the back for the front audio header. One way it goes in, on it goes.
It's for LED LEDs.
So we have the hard disk drive LED. So there's a plus. There's a minus. So on this motherboard, the plus for the hard disk is over here. Now we connect the power LED. Power LED, as you can see, because in some motherboards the plus and the minus are separated. So the plus all the way to this side. The power switch and the reset switch. Reset goes below, like so. And the power switch goes like that. Notice for the power and the reset switch, I don't really care on the polarity because these two are toggle switches. So basically all they do is press the thing, you close the circuit. So it doesn't matter at all which orientation you put them. Power and hard disk drive LEDs, you do have to take note of the polarity because diodes only allow current to go one way.
I study electrical, I know.
Here comes the beautiful part.
Star of the show.
This is the Galaxy RTX 2070 Super. And this is the GTX 950 that he's upgrading. Yeah. Oh, new. My god, she's big.
That's what she says.
Oh dear. Something I didn't really take into account. The yeah. So these guys have to move down.
That's why I said, why don't you put it?
Yeah. So kind of things happen. Just kind of realized that the graphic card was a little bit longer than expected. So if I put the drive down here, it won't be able to go in. So I have to move the two drives downwards. And consequently, I have also moved the front air intake downwards as well, so that it's blowing fresh air to the mechanical hard drive here. SSD, being a flash drive, doesn't really heat up a fair bit. The mechanical drive does. So where possible, you want a fan here to be blowing into the drive. So right, let's get this 2070 in. Whoops, technical difficulties again. This is actually a 2.5 slot card. Oh. And I have put the Wi-Fi card here. But since this is a 2.5 slot card, yeah, that thing won't go into there. So yes, I have to move this guy down. Everything's in as it should be. Before we do any form of cable management now, let's plug her in and see if she turns on. See if she turns on. Oh yes, she's alive. She's alive. Let's get into the BIOS. Let's get her set up.
This is what you call a late night vlog. It's coming to 10 PM. There are a lot of things I can't show you, of course. It's a lot of protected data from the jeweler, so I can only show you what's the final product. It has basically all its meat and bones inside, but it's now missing its body. This guy has no trouble to do whatever jeweler custom
whatever he needs to do.
diamond cutting that he needs to do. I hope more couples get married because of his business. So.
Yeah,
Singapore needs more babies. So this is Realmeltan's Vlog 1.5 going to 2 now. So Gordon has just finished his drivers and his Windows 10 installation. So now comes the fun part we all love as a PC builder. What is it? Cable management. The thing about this case is that because it's kind of old, so we don't have the very nice rubber grommets where you can stuff cables in. The very old school classic of keeping them together with wire ties, zip ties. Make sure that as long as the back panel can close, the customer doesn't need to know what's going on in the back.
Always good to do cable management because number one, is it aesthetically more pleasing and also helps to optimize the airflow.
You can see it's not as flat as you think, so there is actually space for the cables to lie on. It's quite big. There's space to stuff the cable. So a good thing also that we are using a fully modular power supply. You only require the cables that you require. You can limit yourself with just one graphics card. Yeah, that's all you need. Don't go SLI, you can't afford it. But yes, fits to the T, almost. Nice, final shot.
Tidy up.
If you guys want to upgrade your PC or you want a totally new PC, you can message Gordon at Typhoon Systems, his Facebook, or you can drop me a DM on my channel. I will link you up with Gordon. You can all have fun playing more PC games or doing whatever that you want to do. Just now we've tested the old PC when it first came to us with Cinebench R15, and what's the magic score?
It was about 540, around there.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see how Cinebench goes here.
Can already see it's 3 times faster. What?
1570.
Very good.
Yeah, they're good.
But if you want to know what is the top of the line, check out my snow video with 2900X. This is heaven.
So according to my picture I have here, GTX 950 did about 30 FPS and a score of 1289. Full HD times 8AA window, ultra quality. The exact same settings that take you for a run. Whoa! 4 times. Just now the average FPS was like 30, now it's jumped up to 123.
But is it 4 times the price?
The GTX 950 would have been about SGD $200 cut back then.
What about this guy?
This is now about SGD 700.
Yeah, 4 times the price, yeah.
But the fact remains that it's times 4 in performance.
This is Realmeltan. Thank you, Gordon, again. So we're going to have a very happy jeweler as a customer tomorrow. Signing out, guys. Bye.